Good evening, and welcome to our Journeys of Faith Life Coaching. This is Think About It Thursday, and my name is Henry Dotson. And I want to welcome you to the first Think About It Thursday in the month of November. So, this is also, we have different cancer awareness activities that take place. And so for the month of November, it's actually Lung Cancer Awareness Month. It's also Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. It's Stomach Cancer Awareness Month. And it's National Marrow Awareness Month. So there's a lot of things that are going on now that have to do with awareness of of cancer and the various types of cancer. So I just wanted to alert you to that this month has many different cancers that we are to be aware of. And if you're interested in knowing more, you can go online and just do a search for those particular awarenesses, and then there are actual organizations that can give you additional information about those types of cancers. So with that, I want to move on to our what we discuss here on our Journeys of Faith Life Coaching on our Think About It Thursdays. And what we're thinking about as these Thursdays is we are going on this cancer journey. And we have started from the beginning, and we are moving on as we progress through it chronologically. And that it means that it's based on the phases of a cancer journey that one experiences from a medical perspective. And so we've already gone through the pre-cancer stage, where our phase where you have gotten something wrong in your test results. And so they did some tests, additional testing, and they discovered that you had cancer. So this is after the cancer diagnosis, initially being diagnosed. And now the cancer patient is moving into the actual active treatment phase of their cancer journey. And so we have been discussing from a spiritual perspective, what does that mean? Because we know that cancer doesn't just affect the body, but it affects the mind and the spirit also. And you'll find many people that focus on the things that you need to be concerned about for the body and the mind. But what we're about here is, what about the spirit? And we believe as Christians that the spirit is the most important thing you need to deal with and lean into your faith as you go through your cancer journey. So we are at that stage now where the cancer patient is about to, or has crossed on into that unknown cancer world, and they've prepared themselves for this spiritually. And so now we've talked about the first things that you need to do is you needed to find your tribe. And a couple of weeks ago, we said the first member of your tribe would be your caregiver. And last week, we talked about the next people that should be in your tribe should be your spiritual support network, the group of people that are going to come alongside you and your caregiver and walk alongside you both as you travel through this cancer journey. They too will experience a cancer journey of their own because they've decided to walk alongside you. So we're at that point now where we are about to move forward there from that. And so now we're thinking about, okay, what happens next from a spiritual perspective? And so this is the stage right before you have selected an oncologist in the medical side. You have not yet perhaps selected an oncologist. You haven't selected the hospital. You haven't selected a treatment plan, but you are just about ready to dive into that. And we wanted you to see what that looks like from the spiritual side. So as you collect this information, knowing more about your cancer, the stage of the cancer at the time you're diagnosed, all the information that the medical healthcare providers are giving you, and as you prepare for all of this, you now have a lot of information and you have to make some decisions. And so you've already established who your caregiver is, and you've identified the people that you want to be as part of your support network. But now it comes to, okay, well, what do I do next? And so this Think About It Thursday, the question that we're asking for you to think about is this. Think about the people inside and outside of your tribe. Have you decided when and how much information of your health information, if any, you will share? And did you speak with God before you spoke with anyone? So what we're touching on and during this brief time here this evening is the sharing of your health information. And it's not a spiritual thing. It's more of just a thought process that you have to go through that will help you as you go on your cancer journey. And there is a spiritual aspect to this, even though it's something that happens in the medical cancer journey, is the sharing of information. And so that's the question that we've raised is, the question that we raised again is, the people inside and outside of your tribe, and how much information are you going to share, if any? And that, if any, is really regarding the people that are outside of your tribe. And did you speak with God before you spoke with anyone, including your caregiver? So that's the question that we're raising for us to think about. So we start off every week with what we have called our Mindset Monday, and that's to kind of set the tone for what you should be doing on your spiritual cancer journey of faith. And so on Mindset Monday, we said only you can decide when and how much you will share with family and friends. We also said that you should share everything with your caregiver, but everyone doesn't need to know everything. And many people outside your tribe, they don't need to know anything at all. So where we're going with this is that you've already established who your tribe is. So you know the people that are sort of inside your circle and who are not. And so you have to remember that there is a proper time and place for sharing the portions of your health information with others. And everyone doesn't have to know everything, and some people just need to know some things. And that's something that you're going to have to decide with each and every member of your tribe. Now, for the people outside of your tribe, some people you may share some information, and other people you may share nothing at all. And the reasons why you might not share anything is because there are certain people out there that just don't need to know, because their knowing about your condition is not going to be helpful. They may start giving you some crazy ideas about what they know and who they've talked to, and all kinds of things that may not be helpful to you, and they also may be disruptive to you. So you don't want to just let anybody know anything that they don't need to know, and only you can decide that. And so even with the people that are inside of your tribe, you still need to decide how much they each need to know. And part of that is not simply that you don't want to share information, but you need to be sensitive that people are very sobered by the news that someone has cancer. And I can say that from my own personal experience that when I first shared the news with my family and friends, I was really not that sensitive to how that might impact them emotionally or mentally. But I understood later that it was really disturbing for them, and even more so than me, because I had a piece about me as to what this was all about, but they didn't, and it came to them as a shock. So just remember that you're not just sharing information because people need to know, but you also need to remember that they may not react well to what you have to say. And also, there's a time and a place for sharing this information. So it's not always that you should tell everyone that you're going to tell, that you should tell them at a certain time. It may be you need to wait. You need to find the right moment. Maybe you need to take them aside privately so you can tell them the news. Or you have to kind of use some judgment as to what's the best way to share that news. And so we move on then to our Tip Tuesday. And on Tip Tuesday, that's when we give quotes that are applicable to what we're talking about. And this Tip Tuesday, we actually had two tips because one, we're talking about the sharing of this news, and the other about who the right people are to share this news. So our first Tip Tuesday says that it actually comes from William Shakespeare. And he says, though it be honest, it is never good to bring bad news. And what it's really trying to say is that even though you need to share this information, it's not a good thing that you're sharing. And so you need to be sensitive to people when you share that news. The other tip that we have on this Tuesday actually is from Henry David Thoreau, and it says, where there is no discernment, the behavior even of the purest soul may in effect amount to coarseness. So what we're saying here is not only do you have to be mindful of when you share information with people, but there also should be some discernment when you do, because you have to understand the people that you're talking to and what you're sharing. And you might know that the way certain people react, even if you want them to know the information, that they may not react in a way that's going to be too helpful. So you have to be mindful of that as you share that information. And also, you want to, for those people that are not inside your circle, you also need to use some discernment as to who you share that information with also. And so we move on to our Wisdom Wednesday, and that's when we share a scripture that speaks to this. So on this Wisdom Wednesday, the scripture that we are looking at is discretion, and because that's what it really gets down to, is using discretion. And Proverbs says, discretion will protect you and understanding will guard you. So we're encouraging you to use discretion when you decide who, when, and where you share your health information. We also said again that you should always be sharing everything with your caregiver because they're the one that's going to be the closest to you, and they're the ones that need to know everything because they're the ones that are going to be talking to the doctors and helping out in all the details of your care. So share with your caregiver, but with everyone else, you need to use a little discretion. And also, you need to pick that caregiver using some discretion too. So, getting back again to our Think About It Thursday question, it is again, think about the people inside and outside of your tribe. Have you decided when and where and how much information you're going to share? And did you speak with God about this before you actually shared this information? Did you actually talk to God about it before you just went about talking to friends about this? So, the other thing that I wanted to share with you in the brief time that we have left is I'm excited about, um, we're going to have a Hope Over Fear workshop on Saturday, November 11th from 10 to noon on Pacific time. And this is hope over fear. So this is how we want to start to combat this on a spiritual level, how we want to combat cancer, because the first thing that it does is it tries to instill fear. So we need to replace that fear with hope. So this is when the event is taking place. And I do have a QR code that I'll pop up, and it will kind of cover the whole screen, but hopefully you can use this QR code to um, you can use this QR code to get to the the event. The information, there's information there. There's there is a registration place to sign in and sign up for it. It's free. So we just like for you to be there because we think that it's going to be, and we know it's going to be a blessing to those who attend. So with that, we hope that this has been helpful this week. And the Think About It Thursday is how you share your information, and there's a spiritual aspect to it in using discernment in what you do. So until next time, next week, take care and God bless. And we'll see you again when it's time to think about it on Thursday. Take care